And I'm back. And what I got here today is I got a steering column out of a 2004 Ford Escape. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to take out this multifunction switch and save it, and the rest is, going to be discarded. But I encountered something here as I'm taking this apart, and it's unbelievable technology. And in all the years I've worked on cars, I've never come across anything quite so brilliant as this particular device that they've got built in to this steering column. And I'll explain how it works. Now, I've taken the steering wheel off by unbolting it from this bracket. This bracket is bolted onto the steering column. Okay, the steering column goes through there. And usually, for a steering wheel, you have to use a puller, so like a three-legged puller or a two-legged puller. And sometimes you have ones that hold, into you screw bolts into this bracket and pull it out off the end of the shaft. And I've encountered something here today, and I'll show you in a minute how it works, but it's a built-in steering wheel puller. It comes, it's factory built into the car. And what there is this little, see right here, this little hex. That's 7mm, little hex right here. You can access that from, with the steering wheel on. But there's this plate. You can see how there's a plate here on the end, and there's 4 bolts, and there's this little thing here. Okay. And I'm going to show you the internals of this in a second, but this is how you take the steering wheel off. Yeah, so this is a little worm drive. There's a worm drive. I'll show you here. There's a shaft that goes through here, and there's the corresponding teeth on the nut that holds this whole assembly onto the shaft. And all you do is you turn this counterclockwise, and what it's doing is it's engaging the teeth on the nut, and it's loosening it. It's a right-hand thread on here, so what's happening is as you screw this backwards, it's pulling those teeth up, and it's undoing the nut. And because this nut is captured under this little cover here, it comes up against the cover, and as you continue to turn this, it acts as a puller, and it pulls, the nut actually is working against this cover, pulling this assembly off of the shaft. Now I've got it loose, but I'll show you. I'll just keep going here with it. And you can see the gap is increasing here, like right here. I don't know if I can get it by hand. Let's see here. All right. So that's coming off. Now, before I get it taken all the way off, let me just show you under that cover. Let me show you how this is made. This is amazing. In all my years, I trying to figure out what this was all about today, and I looked at this little thing. I said, well, that's got to have something to do with it. So I took the cover off and I looked in here, and sure enough, it's a puller. It's a puller built right into the steering column to pull the wheel off. Look at this. Look at this thing. Okay, we'll get those out of there. All right. See, now when the cover comes off, see that little worm gear? So when you turn this counterclockwise, see that? It's loosening the nut. The nut is threaded onto the shaft. And like I said earlier, the nut is going to be, it's captured under this very heavy cover. And it's working to pull this little frame off the shaft. Look at that. And it would be the same to put it on. You could tighten it down that way too. I had never seen that before. I had no idea. Anyway, that's just about ready to come off, and we'd have to put the cover on to continue pulling it off. But I wanted to show you that. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And who thought that the automotive industry was ever going to come up with something amazing? But that is so ingenious. Wow, that's got so many other applications. If they incorporated that into so many other different things, like to pull a component off a shaft. Wow, that is, and I didn't think it would have the strength when I first looked at it, and I thought, no, it can't be, because, by turning, I thought there's no way, by turning that little hex there, that's not going to have enough torque, to pull this bracket off, because it's on there quite tight. But no, that's exactly it. Now, let's just continue here. Continue now. And the nut is coming off. That is just amazing. Any of you guys that have worked on, you know, Fords and pulled these steering columns off, or the steering wheel off a Ford, you'll know this, but I'd never tried to pull this off of a Ford before. I've pulled steering wheels off of other vehicles, and like I say, you usually have to use some type of a puller, but there it is. Look at that. Check that out. That is so brilliant. I had never guessed that that's what that was for. Check that out. A built-in puller. Let's take a look under that cover again. And there it is. Isn't that brilliant? Check it out. That's the nut. You see the threads inside of it? And that little worm. That is unbelievable. Anyway, that's how that's done. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you again here very soon on Everyday Projects. Bye for now.